Hello, my name is Bojan Savic. I'm here at Mercedes-Benz of Scottsdale, and I do get this question all the time from the people when they're visiting our showroom, and I know my colleagues get that too. From a people like you, what's different? What's new? Why would I choose the GLC 300 or the GLB 250? Why is this one better? Why is this one lacking? You will find out all the answer by the end of this video. Now, let's go right into it and compare these two vehicles. First of all, I would like to tell you something a little bit about the GLB, because the GLB comes before the GLC, because in Mercedes-Benz we have this alphabet nomenclature, right? So, GLB, the first year for the vehicle was 2020, model year 2020, went down in production in July of the 2019. So, what's unique and special about this vehicle? This vehicle came out as a front-wheel drive. There's a difference between the GLC brother or sister. It's a rear-wheel drive. So it is a front-wheel drive platform. You can get it as a 4MATIC or all-wheel drive, where it's going to be the front biased. So basically, what that means, the front bias, the vehicle will send most of the power to the front wheels up to 100%, let's say on the straight, and it will shift the power to the back wheels up to the 50% as it's needed. GLB also got the latest and the greatest from technology from the Mercedes-Benz. I hope that you already know we do have the MBUX, Mercedes-Benz User Experience, now available on the GLBs. That's when the vehicle was just launched. So this vehicle also, it's unique because it has a third lines of seating. That's the item that the GLC does not have. GLC is strictly the 5-passenger vehicle. GLB offers, for $850 option, the third lines of seating. And you can see in some of my videos what I'm here with the two more, I would say very tall guys that are over 6 foot, and we sit in the front, the middle, and the rear seats. So we'll show you this, how much space that there is in a GLB. Also, the GLB is powered by the 8-speed DCT transmission. GLC, it's powered by the 9-speed G-tronic transmission. We're going to get into that a little bit later. So also, those are the major focuses with the differences, advantages of the GLB. It will get a little bit better also the fuel economy. It's a little bit less on the weight as well. But it is a little bit slower if we're going to measure the 0 to 60. I'm not sure how many buyers of this particular vehicle are interested in the 0 to 60, but in this vehicle it's rated at about 6.9 versus at the GLC it's a 6.1. Vehicle is powered by the 4-cylinder, 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, so it produces 221 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. Okay, the high level substandard features can be expected on the GLB as well as on the GLC 300. So, but your main reasons why would you look at the GLB? Because it starts at $5,000 less. The starting point for the GLB would be $38,050. That's without that destination charge. It's about $5,150 more on the case of the GLC. It will have the better fuel economy versus in the GLC, not by much, about 1-2 miles per gallon. And it's going to offer the third lines of seating. Your technology, far as on the inside, a lot of people like that long display, far as on the infotainment and the instrument cluster. So that's all on the sides of the GLB. Again, front-wheel drive compared to the rear-wheel drive. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about the GLC 300 and why should you like GLC 300 a little bit more. Let me tell you about this vehicle. Why should you be impressed? Well, it is one of the most successful vehicles in its segment out of comparison with the BMW and the Audi and some of the other things. So the GLB was building up on the success of the GLC. So definitely, again, far as on the market, far as the clients about the buying numbers, GLC is the clear winner in this segment. So people definitely embrace the GLC configuration, the pricing, options, features, safety, utility, everything of the vehicle. So let's talk about the highlights of the vehicle. This one is powered again by the inline 4-cylinder 2-liter motor that produces 255 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. This vehicle will be faster on the get-go versus on the GLB, 6.1 seconds versus 6.9 seconds. It's also for about 150 pounds heavier, as far as if we just compare the curb weight. It's right around 3,900 pounds. So you're not buying the vehicle because it's heavier. The other things, it's going to have the smoother ride. This vehicle, it's a rear-wheel drive based. Again, you can get the 4MATIC, where it's going to shift the power to the front wheels as it needed. But as far as in the quality of the ride, just the pure enjoyments of the ride, usually people tend to like the rear-wheel drives better than the front-wheel drives. You can get the vehicle in the Zinio colors on the exterior and on interior upholstery that it's not offered on the GLB. However, it is $5,150 more. It starts in right about $43,000 far as on the entry level, of the vehicle. So those are going to be the highlights. No, it does not have the 7-passenger seating. It does offer as a 5. And in both vehicles, when they have the 5-passenger capacity, the rear cargo, it's quite a bit generous. Yes, the vehicle will come with Mercedes-Benz user experience, MBUX. Display will be different because we use the 2 displays in the case of the GLC versus in the one single that it's in the case of the GLB. So in a short, this one is a rear-wheel drive. It was a 5-passenger vehicle. It produces more power. It has a 9-speed G-tronic versus 8-speed DCT transmission. It's going to be a little bit heavier and it's going to be a little bit faster. So those are the things that you should pay attention to, or maybe the GLC is the right vehicle for you because of the quality of the ride and everything else, or you might choose the GLB. So that will be the main difference between the vehicles. As far as in the standard features and the optional features, that's going to be very, very similar between those 2 vehicles. But on the points that I just mentioned, I hope that some of you will will be able to make a clear decision. Is the GLB the right vehicle for you, or it's maybe the GLC 300? For the year 2021, the interior instrument cluster comes as an analog. We do have an option for $750 to install 12.3-inch screen that's going to be in the front of the driver. It's going to the instrument cluster. So you do have for the entertainment, you do have the second. The vehicle does have the Mercedes-Benz user experience. That's the question that we have here a lot. And yes, it is available with 64 colors ambient lighting. Many of the other features, as expected in the Mercedes-Benz, you do have now the touch screen. All the vehicles that have the Mercedes-Benz user experience will have the touch screen. So you can change the themes, you can change the trip, and from the radio stations to navigation features to everything else. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto will come standard on the car. The blind spot assist will come standard on the car. On the steering wheel, you do have the left and the right part. You can control the different features. Right part controls the volume, answering the phone and hanging up and everything that's in the infotainment system, versus on the left part of the vehicle, we do have the cruise control and everything that's controlled the instrument cluster. You do have the shortcuts. They're going to be right here in the front. Air conditioning and air conditioning vents, they're going to be right here. New touchpad that we have here, and also with the dynamic select that you can change the different features. How do you want the car to be in a comfort? That's a default mode. Or you want it in the sport or sport plus or eco mode. You can change the different modes of the vehicle. Center console, quite a bit of a space there that you can leave your items. Also, that's where you connect for your Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto. Generous space for the interior for the driver and the passenger, from a hip room, headroom and everything else, and the generous space for the passengers in the back. Now let's move on to the GLB and let me show you how does the interior looks like. As you can see, I'm in the GLB 250 now. So I guess the first thing that you would notice that everybody does when they enter the vehicle, they notice this nice long screen. Everybody, and I do mean everybody that came into our showroom, when they looked at this screen, see the display and everything else, instantly fell in love. It says, that's nice, that's great. when I follow up with the clients, that's a couple of days or a couple of weeks later, yeah, everybody confirmed that actually looks really, really nice of the vehicle. Together with the 64 color ambient lighting, those are one of the things that we get most praise for lately. So as you can see, some of the similarities, right? That's the very same steering wheel, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning controls, and the buttons, different design, but the same functions together with the air vents that we have this turbine look. Center console, we do have this part here as a kind of an armrest, but the control is right here. And as far as on the features of the vehicle, you do have everything, the touchscreen is going to be the same that it is on the GLC 300. Instead of having the two split screens, you do have everything in one right here. So a little bit of the design, it's different. So you can view this in so many cases like, well, for a $5,000 difference and being the front wheel drive, I can add a lot more features to the vehicle. You can get panorama roof like on this particular vehicle. You can get, I don't know, the sport package or AMG Line exterior. You can get certain features. So again, now just to wrap up the difference between the two vehicles, GLB, it starts less at a 38,000. The vehicle is a little bit lighter. The engine produces a little bit less horsepower, but it does get a little bit better fuel economy, and the acceleration is not as good as it on a GLC 300. But I guess for a $5,000 difference, you do get the rear wheel drive, you get a little bit more powerful engine, and you get the features. So I do hope that now, by the end of this video, that you can see which of the vehicle is better for you, which one would work better for you. GLB 250, well, the latest and the greatest and the design wise and the technology wise, or the GLC 300 that gives you a little bit more in terms of the speed, in terms of the power, in terms of the rear wheel drive. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Bojan Savic here at the Mercedes-Benz of Scottsdale. Please come in, do ask for me, and I'll be happy to show you any one of these vehicles.